Hello and welcome to the first day of this retreat. In your heart are paths of hope. Thank you for committing to praying with us, with this community that is gathering virtually. Thank you for uniting yourself with each one of us that are here, joining in whichever way is possible in this 9 days of retreat. So we're starting this retreat on March the 17th. So first of all, happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you've got some green on. I've got some green on here. And I think most of you are probably aware that we wanted to have this retreat beginning on this day, because this day 1 year ago, at least in the Bay Area, was when we went into lockdown. And so we wanted to have to create a space where we could mark that date, we could mark this time, that we could hold all that we have lived in this year, to have that sacred space. And once again, we find ourselves in Lent, and that we continue, say, in this very difficult, this very strange year, we continue to journey once again in the desert, preparing ourselves for this great feast of Easter. So as I said, this retreat, once again, it's online, but I invite each one of you to create your own rhythm of the day. I know that some of you are probably still going to be working. Some of you may be at home and are able to be more flexible in your day. Some of you are probably with your kids at home or family members. But how are you able to maybe mark this week? Are you able to schedule in like the time that you're going to listen to this reflection, or the time that you're going to be able to pray? Maybe that's just half an hour, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it is for you that feels right for this week, this 9 days, of retreat. Are there any other prayer or other activities that you want to schedule into this week? Maybe for you it's praying the rosary, or it's being able to attend Mass, whether that's virtually or in person, or going out for a walk, or some sort of, exercise or journaling or artwork. Maybe you're able to just create in your house, maybe you've already got a sacred space in your house, but to create this prayer corner for these 9 days. Maybe to place an icon or a candle or the Bible, whatever for you really connects you with God, with the sacred. So I thought we would just begin with a song. And as we sing this song, I invite you to bring yourself into the presence of God. God is here. God is present. God dwells within. God dwells among us. God dwells in every part of creation. God dwells and God reaches out to us in a very special way through the Word. And so as we sing our songs, maybe just to allow your own breath to guide you, to connect as well with that breath of God. The song, as some of you might be familiar with it, is the song of Ruah, meaning breath, meaning spirit. And as we sing the song, maybe just become aware of what is your desire as we begin this retreat. What is it that you're longing for as we begin this retreat? So, loving God, we just place this retreat in your hands. May it be all that you desire it to be. May we connect deeply with your heart and with the way that you're leading us into love, into your heart.
Ooh.
Be still and know I am here. Ruah, 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 Ruah. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am here. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am here. Ruah, 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 Ruah. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am here. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am here. Ruah, 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 Ruah. So I remember waking up on March 17th 1 year ago, St. Patrick's Day, knowing that we were now in lockdown. And I remember going out to the kind of back porch that we have in our house in Daly City, and just looking out over the shops there, and just being met, or just feeling this sense of this eerie silence. On this day that there was meant to be lots of celebration, lots of noise, it's St. Patrick's Day, I was met with silence. And I think at that time we all felt this sense of, I don't know, not knowing, but at the same time knowing that everything had changed. That's at least how I felt. And I remember, I don't know if it was on that day, but very close, kind of those beginning of being in lockdown, I remember recalling my home parish back in Southampton. And I remember an experience when I was growing up I was an altar server in my, 11, 12, I'm not sure how old I was, but I remember being taught as an altar server that after the Mass, I had my special candle snuffer outer, to snuff the light out of the flame of the candles out. And I remember being taught that after Mass, you can snuff out, you can blow out all the candles except for the sanctuary light. And this is not from my home parish, but this is from a parish here in San Francisco, Most Holy Redeemer. But on those days, those early days of being in lockdown, this memory came to me. You can blow out all the candles, but the sanctuary light stays lit. And it was a sanctuary light just like this, hanging down in the middle, just in front of the tabernacle. Beautiful, it was a ship, and that light coming out from that ship, this is slightly different, but just as beautiful. The sanctuary light is lit. And I think this memory of this sanctuary light, in the middle of, and I don't need to go into it, and I think maybe as these days goes on, we'll be, just being able to touch more, but in a year that we've experienced so much pain, so much loss, we've maybe experienced death, illness, financial hardships, maybe these unforeseen consequences that, we didn't know were going to happen. Not being able to see family for a year, plans cancelled, vacations cancelled, trips cancelled, just so much loss. And yet this memory of the sanctuary candle remains lit. In one sense, it's a little bit captures what Pascal says. In difficult times, keep something beautiful in your heart. For me, in many moments, I remembered that sanctuary candle remains lit. The life, the love of God is present. Maybe I can't see it, but the life and the love of God is there. The other day, I was going through a bit of a tough time, and in one sense, it's a consequence of this year of lockdown, this year of pandemic, and I was out in our retreat centre in Tracy, and I was doing some yard work, and I was, working hard, trying to tidy up a little bit some of the flower beds there. And as I was doing this work and being outside, a line from Hamilton came to me. I don't know if you've seen Hamilton, but it was this line: "Look around, look around." And it was just that simple, that look around, look around. And it was really like the God, Jesus, singing those 4 words to me. God oftentimes sings, speaks to me through songs, but it hasn't actually happened for a long time. And in that moment of difficulty, in that moment, as I say, and specifically, I would say a consequence of this year, this invitation to look around, and I looked around, and I was met by the birds that were sat on the fence. I was met by community, also working with me. I was met by the bulbs of the daffodils coming up. I was met by these tiny little purple bluebells that had shot up. I was met by the labyrinth that was there. I was met by the sky and the sun. I was met by that warmth. For me, as I was holding that pain, that difficulty, those words, look around, brought me out. Yeah, that what I was living, what we are living, is painful, is beyond painful. And yet, like that phrase of Pascal, there is something beautiful. Hold on to that something beautiful. The sanctuary light is always burning. God is present. So as I say, today, as we all know, is the feast day. It's a celebration of St. Patrick. And I think he is a great person that we can turn to, that we can maybe sit with in our prayer. I think St. Patrick, if he had lived in this time as well, would have heard those words of Hamilton, look around, look around. In one sense, I think he was as well a person who, in the middle of his difficulty, held on to something beautiful. I'm sure you and Nice know bits of his story, and to be honest, we don't actually know much about him. So in the 400s sometime, he was captured and he was brought into slavery in Ireland. And there he was for a slave, working, as a slave for a number of years, we don't know. And then he was able to escape, to flee. And in that time of his slavery, it was there that he was met by God. So somebody who has experienced the hardship, the oppression, the cruelty of being captured, of being made a slave, was found by God in that, was met by beauty, was met by love. He's also, I don't know if anyone has read has read the Confessio, his own writings, and he's writing this because they think, people are speaking bad about him, and he has an experience in that time of God saying, "We were grieved," and he says, God, you didn't say to me that you were grieved, but that we were grieved. He experienced as well in that time of difficulty, much later on in his life, that he was held by God. God was present in his suffering. God grieved in his suffering. So Patrick, who experienced so much darkness, and he says in his own words that the more and more the love of God grew inside of me. It grew strong in me. So I invite us, if this is helpful, maybe in your imagination, as we begin this retreat, to sit with Patrick. And I think oftentimes we have this image of Patrick that has been brought down to us, I think maybe via Guinness, this kind of leprechaun type Patrick. This is not Patrick. Patrick who was a slave. Patrick who experienced cruelty. Patrick who was forced to work against his own will in this cruel, harsh way. Patrick who knows what suffering is. Let us come and maybe to sit with Patrick, maybe as he goes out up into the mountains, maybe as he's crying out into the cold night, crying out in that exhaustion, crying out in that not knowing. Maybe sit with Patrick there on a rock, looking out at the landscape, maybe looking out at the sunrise or the sunset or the clouds coming in or the contours of the mountain. But to know that in some way he must understand what this year has been for us. But it was there that the love and the life of God met him. And when I listen to the story of Patrick, this reading often comes to me. And it's this reading from the Book of Wisdom. And although this is speaking about Joseph from the Book of Genesis, we could also say about Patrick, she being wisdom. Wisdom, she did not forsake the virtuous man when he was sold, but kept him free from sin. She went down into the dungeon with him. She would not abandon him in his chains. And then a little bit later on in that reading, it says, talking about the Hebrews, she led them by a marvelous road. She herself was their shelter by day and their starlight through the night. You've just got this beautiful image of God in this way of speaking of wisdom, who just goes down and down and down and down into that place of darkness and does not abandon us in that darkness. Wisdom, God, remains and sits with us in that dungeon, in that darkness, doesn't abandon us into the chains that we have felt in this year, but leads us by a marvelous road and is our shelter and is our starlight. So maybe if this reading is touching you, just to allow wisdom to come and to touch us, to come and find us, to come and sit with us, to come and lead us. This is the certainty that we hold. It's again like that sanctuary lamp, that candle that, we can't extinguish, we can't put out. Wisdom will come and meet us. Wisdom does come and meet us. Wisdom has come and met us, maybe in so many ways in this year. So let us sit with Patrick. Let him teach us as well. Let him draw us close to wisdom, to Lady Wisdom.